Dear Derry, you know that moment when you can see the storm, you know, boiling up on the horizon, you're like, that's coming this way. Um, it's that moment where you're you're at a carnival somewhere and you have volunteered to be on the dunk tank and you're sitting on the little wooden platform and some guy who's like a major league pitcher just stepped up and grabbed the baseball and you're like, oh crap, because you know it's coming. You know it. You can see it. That ball starts flying and you're just watching the seams spin and you're like, no. But it's both of those sound like they're really bad. They're not. Not in this case. I have been, admittedly, I haven't been lazy about my voice acting career. I've just been perhaps unnecessarily cautious. Part of it is that I'm worried, and perhaps it's a bit of a conceit on my part, but it is a conceit that has been born from the fact that everybody who listens to the stuff that I do are like, "Oh my God, you're so good! Stop it! Point out some flaws, please. Just keep me grounded so I don't and start floating away." Anyway, there will be quite a few, I suspect, caveats in this thing where I'm like, and it was, but I didn't back and forth. Anyway, um, I just forgot where I was going. It's okay. I'll have some tea. That makes everything better. What I'm worried about, see, made it better. What I'm worried about is that I'm going if I start barreling full force and really put some serious oomph behind pushing my voice acting career. I'm terrified that I'm going to kind of explode onto the scene. And the problem with explosions is they tend to go and they're gone. And it's like I screwed up. It's a tortoise in the hare kind of thing, I guess. Maybe a bad analogy, but I don't want to just start just running full force into this thing and then wind up flaming out. Just consume all the oxygen, and the people be like, "Yeah, we've heard his voice a lot. We want something different, something new. I would rather have a steady, reliable career. I don't want to get rich doing this stuff. I would like to have money, so that I have money to do the things that I want to do. But I don't want to be filthy, stinking rich. I mean, it wouldn't. Here's another caveat. I wouldn't turn it down, but that's not what I'm striving for. I'm not trying to get rich. I'm just trying to do what I love doing and make a little money while I'm doing it. Um, and by little, I mean hundreds of billions of dollars. Um, anyway, so it's that moment where you're working and you're having a good time. You've got a nice relaxed pace going on, and you take a glance up and you see the bucket of more work tipping over. You're like, I mean, part of you wants to be like, no, and part of you is like, all right, cool. There's a lot of opportunity in this bucket. This is awesome. And so you have to balance between those two. I mean, definitely lean, not balance. I mean, lean definitely more towards the, hey, take this opportunity kind of thing. But sometimes it's a little bit of apprehension. Uh, if I yawn, a little aside here, if I wind up yawning or rubbing my eyes or my eyes are really red or something, it's just because my sleep schedule is kind of weird. I had an early morning Skype call with somebody this morning. This is kind of the point of this whole opportunity bucket thing. Um, anyway, I figured I'd get up at 6, take care of Bray, get her fed and walked and, all that stuff. And then I'd head over here and be here in time for the phone call or the Skype call. And I woke up at 3 and couldn't go back to sleep. So I've been taking these odd power naps all over the place. And if they were at regular intervals, it would be fine. But mix into that very bizarre dreams, and I like keep snapping awake in the middle of them and looking around and go, what is, oh, it's a dream. All right, never mind. And then back to sleep again. So I need to grab some melatonin on the way back to the other house or something, because I am just, what? Um, don't take melatonin and drive. I'm not going to, so don't you do it either. Um, oh, the bucket thing. So one of the things that uh, the person I was talking to was talking about is that they want to kind of do a show on, not like a documentary or anything, but just a regular kind of a podcast sort of thing where they talk about furries and whatnot. And the fact is that we are only just now, because we got a bad shake for a while, and we're just now coming out from under this thing, and people are starting to realize, oh, okay, maybe they're not all that bad. It's like, no, we're really not. We're actually decent people. Part of the stigma that has followed us and just been laid on top of us for so long is the fact that sex sells. And that's not just, from our side of the equation. The fact that, yeah, there's a lot of sexual stuff in the furry fandom. We would be liars and fools to say that there wasn't a sexual component to it. You find me a fandom that doesn't have a sexual component. But that's not the be all and end all of it. Yeah, there's a lot of art and whatnot that has, because sex sells. It's very easy to make money in any fandom selling, art that has sex in it. Easy, because we are inherently sexual creatures. Point being, that also applies to the media. Sex sells. They can sell a story about sex, and if they can sensationalize it and make it seem weird, they'll do it. Oh, like that. So, you've got that equation working on both sides of this pivot point, and so it's taken us a while to. Fortunately, we are coming out from underneath it. People are starting to realize the amount of charitable work that we do. I mean literally the charities that we, we take in money for. At most of our conventions have huge charity donations that we do. Not to mention just the fact of having these conventions brings in people into this community, whatever, if it's a big convention or a small one, it's still bringing in a lot of people from outside the thing and bringing lots of money into the thing. Way back when with our thing here in San Jose, it was, like people were like, oh God, those furry, people are back again. And, we'd kind of get the cold shoulder at different, like, food stores, like restaurants, and Subway, whatever, sandwich shop, what have you. And now the perception has changed quite a bit, because people have begun to realize that not only are we actually decent, fun-loving people, but we bring a lot of money with us. And like around here during, our convention in January, companies, stores and stuff, especially restaurants and whatnot, will have a furry themed menu. They will get in touch with our convention and find out what the theme is for this year. Like if it's space, or, if it's like theater noir kind of thing, and they will create menus and specials specifically for people who come in with their registration badge and whatnot. And they really get behind it and they have a great time. Plus having all these costume characters, if people are walking around in their costumes outside, it's free advertising. It can be really cool. Anyway, I don't want to harp on that too much. Otherwise we'd have nothing to talk about on the show. So then we're talking about, what I want to do is I want to find like some of our best composers, our best authors, our best artists, our best costume designers, our best sculptors and stuff, and find people that can, go on the show, or just, something. Further the good face of the thing. That's what I'm thinking. And of course they're like, you can be on the show too. I'm like, I really don't kind of want to. I mean, I could. And, they're always thinking about things for me to do as a voice actor and whatnot that I can do for them. And I have done some work for them in the past, which is part of the reason why they came to me, because they know I'm a furry. They know that if I say that this person is, a really, reliable, reputable example of what the fandom is, not what its perception is, but what the fandom actually is, that they know they can trust me for that. And I know that I can trust them because I've worked with them in the past. I know that when they tell me, we're trying to put what the fandom really is. You guys have gotten a bad shake before, as I said, and we want to kind of push that away and put a brighter face on it. Like, I'd be all about helping that. I'm like, cool, well, you can do the show. I'm like, no. No, we got people that are much better at that than I am. So I gotta get in touch with a bunch of people and talk to folks about, hey, do you want to do this? And I'm sure most of them will be like, no, not really, because it's they don't know these folks. It's going to be kind of crazy. Anyway, so there's that. I'm certain there was something else that I was going to talk about. I have been listening to, I guess that's why they call it The Blues by Elton John, over and over and over and over and over and over and over again today. And to say that that was an exaggeration with all those over and overs, not true, not an exaggeration. I think right before I started recording this was the 20th time in a row that I listened to it. Songs get stuck in my head, and because it was on the radio the other day while I was driving around with Carrie before I took him to the airport, and I only heard a piece of it before he reached over and turned down the radio and to talk about something. I don't remember what it was. And I'm like, no, because now it's just this one snippet of the song, and it's looping in my head over and over. And the only way I can get it out is to listen to the song over and over and over again until I get tired of hearing it. And I don't even want to think about it anymore. That's the only way to, it's like implosion therapy or something. So yeah, it's still going. I can still hear it. It's okay. I'll sort it out. I will. If I have to resort to, when it gets really bad, you just listen to Particle Man by They Might Be Giants, and that usually sweeps away everything. And Particle Man's kind of a blank slate, sort of, in a way. You can usually get rid of that by listening to, just picking another song and listening to it, and then everything kind of resets. It creates a blank slate for you to work with. Now, if you get stuck with Particle Man in your head, then you're really in trouble, because I think Istanbul can also do it in a pinch, but I'm not sure. Okay, so here we are at 13 minutes, and I'm just I'll turn the camera off, and then I'll realize, no, that's what I wanted to talk about, and then I'll just start over again. Right, so I'm going to go, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow for Motivational Monday. And I have to figure out in the next few minutes what that's going to be, because I'm about to record it. So I will talk to you guys. I've already done hesitation. Can't do that one again. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Until next time, be careless.